What's up, everyone? It's Ryan from Small City Open Pre-Hospital Education, and today we're going to be talking about two of the advanced certification exams from the IBSC, the FP-C and the CCP-C. Now, what this isn't going to be is a comprehensive review on these exams. We're not going to go over any test questions or anything of that nature. Mainly what we're going to be talking about is the differences between these two exams, some of the things that you might expect to see, and how to kind of go about preparing to take these exams. So what are the differences between the two exams? Well, on the IBSC website, you can find the candidate handbooks for each exam they offer. Both the FP-C and the CCP-C are 135 questions and have a 2.5-hour time limit. The FP-C exam consists of 110 scored items and 25 non-scored pretest items. CCP-C consists of 125 scored items and 10 non-scored pretest items. All questions are multiple choice, and within the handbooks, you'll find a breakdown of how many questions are within each category. For example, on the FP-C exam, you'll have 9 questions on safety and transport, 7 questions on flight physiology, 17 questions on airway, 14 on medical emergencies, 12 on neuro, 14 on cardiac, 13 on trauma and burns. Yeah, you pretty much get the gist, right? Per the IBSC, these exams target competency at the mastery level of paramedic practice coupled with entry-level competency over the knowledge, skills, and abilities contained within the specialty. One of the most notable differences in the exams is that the FP-C includes questions on flight physiology, questions relating to different gas laws, the stressors of flight, and altitude-related injuries, just to name a few things. You'll also see safety and transport questions related to aircraft operations and performance, aerodynamics, and pre-flight checks. CCP-C has 15 questions on transport and safety, which apply to the ground transport environment as opposed to being up in the air. So what can you expect to see on these exams? In the IBSC candidate handbooks, you'll find a list of sample questions. In reference to question length and structure, these are pretty similar to what you'll see on the actual exams. The questions consist of much more information than what you'll find in a typical National Registry question. With that said, much more information doesn't necessarily mean that the questions will be easier. I found a fair amount of questions to be challenging, just loaded with lab values, vitals, assessment findings, and vent settings. Everything from ABGs to chest x-rays to CTs, just a whole variety of different fun things. It's essential that you pay attention to each word within each question. It's also extremely important that you know what's normal and abnormal regarding lab values. The FP-C and CCP-C are designed to test your critical thinking skills. Having a broad understanding of the various concepts is essential. Remember, these exams aren't testing entry-level knowledge and minimal competency. They're assessing you more on the expert level. Due to the length of some of the questions, these tests also took me longer to complete when compared to the time it took me to complete my National Registry paramedic exam. So how did I prepare? There's a lot of really good online and in-person review courses out there. The ones I'm most familiar with are IA-Med and FlightBridge. I used IA-Med for FP-C and FlightBridge for CCP-C. While these online review courses were fantastic, it's all about how much time you put into learning the concepts. In addition to taking review courses, I spent countless hours watching videos and reading different content that further elaborated on some of the different concepts presented in the review courses. It's important to note that regardless of the review course you take, it's likely that you'll have some questions on your FP-C or CCP-C pertaining to information that was never mentioned in the review course. Pay attention to the topics outlined in the candidate handbook and really identify your strengths and weaknesses. When you take practice exams, try to simulate the testing environment as much as you possibly can. One of the most valuable pieces of advice that I was given was to practice making a dump sheet. When you walk into the Prometric Testing Center on the day of the exam, you're going to be given a piece of scratch paper. You're allowed to write down as much information as you'd like to on that piece of scratch paper before you actually start your exam. I practiced and practiced this dump sheet that I had come up with for a couple of weeks prior to sitting for the exam. When I sat down, I wrote down things such as lab values and burn formulas and vent settings and anything that I thought I might have trouble recalling once I started the exam. The biggest benefit of doing this is when you run into those difficult questions that ask you to recall that information on the exam, you have to cognitively offload that much less to get those questions right. Let's be honest, on the day that you take the exam, you're probably going to be shitting yourself and having all kinds of frothy diarrhea. So, anything that you can do to make it as easy on yourself as possible is going to provide you with the utmost benefit. On kind of a final note, we're going to talk about something that drives me absolutely fucking bananas. It's inevitable that you're going to hear somebody talk about how impossible these exams are and how they studied and studied and studied, but still have yet to be successful with passing these exams. What I can tell you is that everybody's definition of studying is different, and you have to identify your weaknesses and prepare in a way that's going to make you successful. Everybody is a little bit different. I wish I could be one of those people that didn't have to study a whole lot to be successful on big exams. Unfortunately, I was not blessed with that skill. I have to study for a couple hours at a time. I have to listen to things over and over again. I have to read and reread things. Natural intelligence isn't something that I was gifted with, unfortunately. So just because your friend maybe took a review course and breezed through the videos and was able to learn the information necessary to be successful in the test, in order for you to pass, you might need to study a little bit harder. You have to identify what you are going to need to be successful on the test and put in the hard work. These tests are challenging, but they're not impossible. And a lot of other people have taken them, with myself included, and have been successful on them. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. In closing, go do some hood rat medicine with your hood rat friends. We're by no means experts on these exams, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If we can find the answer, then we definitely will and try to share that with you. We're here to assist in any way we possibly can. So please, once again, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.